All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something huge for anyone with an online store, e-commerce SEO. Look, if you're selling online, you know the struggle, right? How do you stop your amazing products from just disappearing into that massive digital haystack of the internet? Let's get into it.
So let's just get right to it. I want to ask every single one of you running an online business this question. Is your store invisible? I mean, you could have the most incredible products, truly top-notch stuff, but if nobody can find you when they search on Google, then you've got a serious problem. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
And trust me, the stakes have never been higher. You know, our source material for this explainer talks about a booming market in a place like Cyprus, but let's be real, that story is playing out everywhere. The online marketplace is absolutely exploding, which is great, but that also means the competition is just fierce. The bottom line is, if you're not showing up on that first page of Google, you are literally leaving money on the table. It's that simple.
Okay, so before we jump into the how-to, let's talk about the why. Why does search matter so much? Well, it's all about the undeniable power of what we call organic traffic.
And boom! Here's the data that just says it all. 68%. Just let that sink in for a second. 68% of all online experiences, and yeah, that includes shopping, start with a search engine. We're talking more than 2/3 of your potential customers. They go to Google first. So search isn't just one of the channels you can use. For most people, it's the channel.
And this, right here, this is why it matters so much to your bottom line. Sure, you can throw money at paid ads for a quick hit of traffic, but this quote from our source material really nails it. Organic traffic has the highest long-term return on investment. I love this way of thinking about it. Paid ads are like renting your customers. The moment you stop paying, they're gone. But good SEO? That's like owning the land. It's an asset you build that keeps paying you back for years and years.
So, when you put it all together, you can see why SEO is just non-negotiable for an online store. It's not just one thing, it's a triple threat. You get that incredible long-term ROI we just talked about, you build real, tangible authority for your brand, and maybe the most crucial piece of the puzzle, you create lasting trust. Think about it. When a shopper finds you through a search, they already see you as the real deal, a credible solution to what they're looking for.
All right, you ready? Let's get into the main event. It's time to open up the SEO toolkit. SEO can sound super complex and technical, I get it, but we're about to demystify it by breaking it down into 4 simple, fundamental pillars. These are the things that hold up every single successful online store.
And here it is, our roadmap for today. These are the 4 core components we're going to walk through. First, we'll look at your products and categories themselves. Then, we'll talk about keywords, the words your customers are actually using. After that, we dive under the hood with technical SEO. And finally, we'll cover how to build your site's reputation online. So let's kick things off with Pillar 1, Product and Category SEO. Okay, Pillar number 1 is all about your products and categories. Think of it like this. Every product you sell needs a crystal clear digital price tag that Google can read, right? If you're selling a men's blue cotton t-shirt, but your page is just called Cool Shirt, well, Google's going to have no idea what you're talking about. So this first step is all about getting those basics right. Your product titles, your descriptions, your page structure, especially on platforms like Shopify or WooCommerce. You want to make it ridiculously easy for Google to find, understand, and rank every single thing you sell.
Okay, so once you've laid that foundation, we move on to Pillar 2, keyword targeting. Now that Google understands what you're selling, we have to connect it with how people are searching for it. And this is less about technical stuff and way more about psychology. It's about putting on your detective hat and getting inside your customer's brain. What are the exact words, the exact phrases, the exact questions they're typing into Google when they're looking for something you sell?
And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You see, you don't just want to rank for something super broad like running shoes. That's a waste of energy. What you really need, is to rank for the phrase that basically screams, I have my wallet out and I'm ready to buy. Something like, buy women's trail running shoes in Cyprus. That little phrase is packed with what we call buyer intent. And that, my friends, is the absolute key to getting traffic that doesn't just browse, but actually buy.
Next up, pillar number 3, technical SEO. Now, if your website is a house, this is the foundation. It's all the critical stuff under the hood that most people never see.
but everything relies on it. I'm talking about things like your site's loading speed, fixing broken links, cleaning up duplicate content. Because if your pages are slow or if people are hitting dead ends, they're going to bounce. And even worse, Google's little search robots will get confused and might not index your site correctly. You could have the most beautiful house in the world, but if the foundation is cracked, the whole thing is coming down.
And that brings us to our fourth and final pillar, which ties everything together: high-quality link building. The easiest way to think about this is like building your online reputation. Every time another credible website, say a popular shopping blog or a local business directory, links to your store, it's like they're giving you a vote of confidence. They're essentially telling Google, hey, these guys are legit, we trust them. And Google listens. The more of these high-quality votes you get, the more Google sees you as an authority, and the more it's going to trust you enough to show you to its user.
Okay, so that's the theory. That's the toolkit. But what happens when you actually put these 4 pillars to work in the real world? What kind of results can you actually expect? Well, let's take a look at the proof in the pudding.
410%. Yeah, I'm going to pause for a second just so you can really take that number in. It's a massive, massive figure. It's the kind of number that completely changes a business. But what's the story behind it?
Here's what that number is. It's a real Shopify store that, according to the case study, implemented this exact 4-pillar strategy we just walked through. And in just 6 months, their organic traffic, the free, high-intent traffic from Google, shot up by 410%. That's not just a statistic on a slide. That's a real business going from being basically invisible to being totally in demand.
And this wasn't some lucky fluke. The source material shows this is a repeatable process. We're seeing other stores, this time on WooCommerce, hitting that coveted #1 spot for their key product keywords. And get this is my favorite part. Some stores saw their abandoned cart rates go down just from making these on-page SEO tweaks. That's a direct line from good SEO to more completed sales. It proves how these small things can have a huge impact on your revenue.
All right, that brings us to the big question, the one for you to think about. What's your next move? We've laid out the entire roadmap, showing you how to go from being invisible online to being completely in demand, all built on a smart SEO foundation. Look, if there's only one thing you remember from this entire explainer, please let it be this: a solid, structured SEO strategy. It isn't just another item on your marketing to-do list. It's not a tactic. It's the core engine that can power your entire business's growth.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought, bringing us right back to where we started. We know that 68% of your potential customers are starting their journey on Google. The only real question left is, when they type in that search, are they going to find you or are they going to find your competition? Something to think about. That's all for this explainer.